Hello, everyone. Remixing the narrative. I am so excited as I do every week for tonight's conversation. And as you all see, the title of tonight, and also in a soon bit, if you don't know who's on the screen, you will find out who these lovely ladies are in a second. So tonight's title is entitled, tonight's podcast is entitled Legacy, Three Generations. And so I could not let Women's History Month go by without having two of the most influential women in my life to be on this podcast. So tonight you will get to meet not only my mother, but also my grandmother. And we are just going to talk through these different lessons. And it's great because I've caught them completely off guard. They have no clue what we're going to talk about. And it's perfect that way because I want you all to see just kind of how our conversations naturally go anyway. So as you're coming in, share this live. Definitely tune in, share it. If you have a question you want us to talk about, put it in the chat. If you want to say hi, put it in the chat, and it will definitely get mentioned throughout this episode. So we're going to start with, as we always do, introductions. And we're going to go in order. So since I'm the youngest of the generation, you already know who I am, Jurema. We're going to start with my mother. So I'm going to have her introduce herself, and then we move on to my grandmother.
Hello, everybody. I am Jurema's mom, Cheryl Nolan. Glad to be here today.
Tell us some more about you. Where are you from? What you do? What's going on?
Well, I retired. You know me. I don't do a whole lot of nothing.
Where you retired from?
Do a whole lot of nothing, y'all. I'm retired from. I'm retired from the post office. 30 years retired. I've been retired since 2008. I retired early, as you all can see. I look very young age. But I have been retired since 2008, and I am 62 years old. 62 years young.
Awesome. Yep. You sound the best when you're closest to the iPad, so make sure that's what you do when you talk. All right, and next we have the queen of the night, my grandmother. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, she said that we didn't know what she was going to talk about. I know what I'm going to talk about.
What you going to talk about?
I'm Jurema's grandmother, and my name is Magrenee Williams, and I want you to know that I approve of this message. Listen, my children, and you will hear how Christ came into my life, and I love her, dear. He came into my life at an early age, but believe me, I wasn't on that page. Life was good. Partying was fun. Drinking and dancing till the break of dawn. My journey's been long, with many lessons learned. But the lessons in truth in my heart was burned. You know, there's power in the spoken word. If you don't want it in your life, don't let it out your mouth. Thoughts are things. What you think about, you bring about. I'm the thinker that thinks the thoughts, that brings the things into my life world and affairs. He cares. You can have as far as you can see. You can be whatever you want to be. God said he'd give it all to you and me. You can have as far as you can see. My family and friends, they smother me with love, but my health and my strength come from my Father above. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Peace, love, and blessing.
All right.
Yes. So y'all already see where this is going. So
here we go.
I love it. So the night, again, if you all are just joining us, is Three Generations. You have missed the introductions. Myself, I am Jurema Gorham. We have my lovely mother, Sheryl Nolan, and then we have my amazing grandmother, Magrenee Williams. So We just did the introductions, and we're going to jump into our first part. So, the first thing I want us to do is think about fond memories together. So, I want you to think about what is a memory that you can think of that maybe is just you and grandma, ma, or the three of us, or just like one of, so whatever fond memories come to mind. I'm going to go first, give y'all time to think.
I know, right?
For me, for me, a fond memory that I thought about recently is when we would go spend a night at my grandma's house. Every time we went over there. So if you don't know, my grandma, as you already saw, does spoken word. She is truly artistic. She sews, she cooks. She's always been very big with her hands, and so we would go over there. And I remember us making those stained glass like window things for the house. Every time we went over there, we had a project. Either we were cooking something or we were making a craft. And it was always fun because we weren't in front of the TV, watching TV and all of that. We were actually doing something together. I remember her encouraging me because I used to draw a lot when I was younger. So my different drawings, and I remember my brother being with me and we over there. So that is one of the fond memories I have. I have others I'll share, but that was one of the things I thought about. Like we always did something fun and creative when we went over to my grandma's house.
I want to go next.
Go ahead.
So for me, for you, me, and Mom, my favorite memory or most fondest memories. There's more than one, but every Halloween, she had to be the best costume in the school, win the contest, and my mom, she made every one of her costumes from the time she was this big to probably when she stopped doing Halloween. But when you were the cheerleader,
Yes.
and
I was a genie.
was the genie, and oh my goodness, there's just so many. It's just so many. Mom was so creative, as you said. She made all your costumes, and I just was so proud because she won every year. Guys.
I did. The kids used to be so mad at me because they be getting no Walmart costumes or whatever was big back then, and mine was always custom made. They like, what you gonna do this year?
What we gonna do this year? How we gonna top this? Yeah, that was great.
I would always say, get ready to be first place because this is where it is.
Yeah.
And being 87 years old, I had the privilege of raising these two wonderful young ladies, watching one grow up. But I had almost forgot those costumes. Jurema always won.
Yeah, not
You
only
were,
the costumes, all our clothes too.
Yeah, my clothes, my sundresses, all that stuff. I remember.
Yes, indeed. Oh wow. That's really that brought back fond memories. Wear them costumes now.
That is such a great question, Grandma. You know what I think may have happened, unfortunately, when we had the house fire. You know, we lost a lot of stuff. I even lost a lot of my baby pictures and things like that were in the basement and storage. So we, after 5th grade, it was like all restarting for the most part.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Grandma, you got a memory you want to share either about Mom or the three of us or something you thought of?
Oh boy. There are so many fond memories. We did so many things together. We're going to picnics and
let her share your memory, Mom.
Well, I want to give her a little
we
help.
celebrated everything.
But she
Okay.
wants to say this, but she ain't remembering it right now. Mom, remember when we did the skit at your house and we act like we was on the bus?
Right. One.
Tell
I
them about
don't know if it was Christmas or what, But we had this program where what was it?
The streetcar
The
named Bizarre.
bus. The
Zion.
streetcar called, and who was the driver?
I was.
I think maybe I might have been the driver.
Was you the driver,
It was
Bob?
just like the streetcar called Bazaar.
Right.
And
That's
Jurema would get on the bus and help me. Oh my
It's okay.
God. That's my phone. Cheryl, you gotta help me with that.
you
But I
don't
know, no, Cheryl.
Look, and then Jermaine did the trick. Remember, he was a magician, so he had a box,
Jermaine,
and
he was a magician.
we put some tied up
Made his costume.
scarves. We put some tied up scarves in a box, and he said, "I'm gonna make
His
these
magic trick was
tied." We put them all in there, untied. So he said, "I'm gonna make these scarves come out tied." And when he came out the box, he had a box of tied. He had a box of tied, and that was his trick. The scarves were supposed to come out tied, but instead he brought who called tied. That was funny. Yeah, that was his trick.
oh yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we got the next question.
Well,
Go ahead, Ram.
during my where I've been gone for over 20 years, and I lived in Las Vegas. And while I was there at my church, I was always featured as Mom's Food for, and for Mom's Food for Thought. I would go to the different churches, and at my church, and I had a little comedy act, and it was so fun. Only get release jokes or senior jokes. Senior jokes because I was a senior, and the religious one, oh my God. The senior ones because I was old. Okay. Y'all should have told me about the phone.
I got it.
It's okay. She telling him.
He need to stop.
I would go to the different churches and do my act. And during these 87 years, there's been, I can't count the number of things that I did. Post office, 21 years. Reward, Eagles, DNA.
We are.
I was, just so many things. I need to write them all down. Thousands, hundreds of different things. All of these different hats that I wore. My favorite one was Mom's Food for Thought. In fact, some of them were kind of long, so I can't even do them right now because that would take up everybody's time.
It is okay. Well, we're gonna jump into the next thing. So I want to, and Mom, if she keeps freezing a little bit, y'all might need to come together on the same thing. Maybe you just go where she is, because she kind of delayed a little bit. but I'm gonna keep going. So the first thing I want to talk about is lessons about motherhood. All right. So again, we got 3 mothers on here, and I would love for you to just kind of share what are the things that you've learned. Of course, at different stages. Those who know me, I have a 9-year-old who'll be 10 this year. Of course, my mom will share about her kids and my grandma as well. But I would love to hear what are some of the lessons that you've learned about being a mother.
Oh my goodness. Well, one lesson I've learned is to, just let your children, you guide them so far, and you show them the right way to go. You teach them right from wrong. But in the end, they make their own choices. And once you've done all you can do and feel like you've given them all the knowledge that you know and tell them everything not to do, and you can't make them not do it. You just got to let them go. Let them go and let them make those choices and just be in their corner when they make a couple of mistakes. Be there.
Why you make that look? What was you know what?
Be there to catch them when they fall 2-3 times, But yeah, so pretty much just letting them grow, letting them flow after you've done what you're supposed to do as a parent, as far as guiding them and showing them right from wrong, good morals and values, and and to be giving. And if after all that they still don't do right, then you can't say you didn't do what you were supposed to do as a parent. Yeah. So my advice is just to show them all the love, show them the way, teach them what you know, and then let them go. Yeah.
You can teach, you can learn yourself.
All right. Let me see.
Because you are watched. Believe me.
You want me to go
You're
ahead?
always being watched.
I think she
And
should come where you are because
if
I
you
think it's
want,
stronger because you are close to the front room.
In the front.
Yeah. So grandma, go to the front room where mama is.
Just come in here.
So once you come out, add her in. So what I would say is in regards to motherhood. I don't know if you heard me, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her to come to the front room. So if you are just joining, we are here with my grandmother and my mother. We are going to be talking about just different lessons and things that they've learned and things that they have got during this time. You can go. Things that they've learned during this time. We're going to continue this conversation just about lessons about being a woman, as you can see now, talking about motherhood. And
let me go find her.
You can go get it. I'm going to keep talking, though. We're going to talk about lessons about motherhood and why is it so important. So if you're just joining in, the reason this conversation was so important for me is because I believe it's truly a blessing to be able to still have both my mother and my grandmother. And they are, if you want to know who has helped me become who I am, you are meeting the women right now. We just talked about 5 memories that we had as far as with each other and just with just in life. And now we're talking about lessons about motherhood. My mother just shared just pretty much learning to just let your children be able to, be themselves. And there goes the queen. So go ahead, Grandma. We can hear you perfectly. You kept going in and out in the other room. So
okay.
You got the floor now. Go ahead.
Right. Well, the lessons that children can learn is just like the lessons that I said in my poem. You have to let them know that thoughts are things, and what you think about, you bring about. So think about for children, teach them to think about good things. And as far as your words, what you say, you bring into your life. What you talk about, you bring about.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful. And when you're thinking, you are the one who are thinking of the things that's going to happen in your life, because thoughts are things. You think about it, and you bring it into your life. So these are things that children have to learn how to control their thoughts and their words.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I would say for me, lessons I've learned about motherhood, and you all will hear a lot of things I share is because of what I saw from you all, is that I think I learned that it's very important to be present. And what I mean by that is that I can remember my games, recitals, whatever we did. I mean, birthdays, like all those things were just like very big for us. And I just remember for my birthday or any celebration, like I always knew my mama was gonna be there, my grandma was gonna be there. I knew that they were gonna lay out a spread. I knew that my friends are not gonna want to leave because of it. I mean, this goes back to a fond memory. I also remember, I mean, this will go back to what I've learned just about friends. Like I also learned as a mother, it's important that you are friends with your children's friends, because it allows you to not only get to know who your child's around, but in many cases, I would say over the years, it's allowed my friends to look at you as their mother and grandmother as well, because in some cases, maybe they didn't have a close relationship with their mother, or they didn't have their grandparents. So it made them feel like everyone who came over just felt like they were part of our family. And that's something that I believe I've taken in. And I do that for Trey. Like I want his house, his friends, you know, he's like, my friends always say, "Mom, you so cool, you so nice." And I want them to feel just as comfortable the way my friends felt comfortable around it. And I remember one time having a conversation with my mom about that, and she was later I realized why why she knew all my friends, but it makes sense now that I'm older. And a fond memory that's connected to that when I say making it like a home for all of their friends. Another fond memory, remember we had that Halloween party at the house?
How can we forget?
Yeah.
And if y'all don't know, when I talk about what I learned about motherhood is my mom and grandma made it that you didn't want to leave. Like you bring whatever you want to the house. So we were not really like growing up. We did go trick or treating, maybe. Our school used to always do things, and instead of doing that one year, my mom was like, "We gonna host a Halloween party at the house." Again, this goes back to lessons about motherhood, creating a space for your kids and their friends. So they literally transformed my house, y'all, into like a haunted house place. And we told spooky stories. We had candy. Everyone had to come dressed up. I mean, everybody. It was so fun. But this is the killer part, y'all. So then towards the end, my mother didn't tell us. Of course, she had a costume she bought where I forgot, what were you in the costume?
Witch, and I had some hairy feet.
She was a witch with hairy feet. And this is the killer part. We were telling spooky stories, and someone had just described someone like that in their story. Like, and then they had hairy feet, and then they were a witch, whatever, right? So while they're saying it, all you hear is this noise coming down the stairs. The lights went out, and my mom comes down in this costume, and everyone went crazy. Like
y'all tore the house up.
They were tearing the house up. We was knocking over stuff. They knocked over the iron. Everything. People screaming, going crazy. And the only reason we stopped is because my mom took off the mask, and her and my grandma were cracking up, laughing at us. And we looked like, what? was in a costume. They couldn't even hold their breath how much they were laughing.
Your brother's still traumatized. Jurema really
My
scared.
brother was crying. He was shaking.
Yes.
My mom had to convince him that it was her. She didn't want to go next to her.
It's me, Jermaine. It's me.
He was like, baby. He was like, nah, I can't. So that is so funny. So we're gonna keep going through these next things a little bit quicker. So lessons about love. What have you learned about love? And that could be any sense of the word love, not just romantic. So what have you learned about love over these years as a woman?
All right, Ma, you go first.
What have I learned about love?
Well, you've been here long enough.
Well, first you have to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself. And you have to realize that the one who you choose, because you are the one who should do the choosing. The one that you choose should be the one that is looking for you.
Mm.
And you love yourself first. And if you don't get that in return, it's not a companion.
Mm.
It's a companion. But love is a powerful word. They wrote many songs about it.
Yeah.
And there's lots of definitions about it. But it begins with you loving you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I piggyback off that. I kind of believe that you definitely have to love yourself first, and that you are in charge of your happiness. No one else can do that for you. Okay. No one can make you happy if you are not happy with yourself and being with yourself and by yourself. No one else can make you happy, So yeah, that's all part of loving yourself first and not waiting for somebody to make you happy. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are in charge of your own happiness. No one else can do that for you. So if you're not happy, you can't be happy in a relationship. You can't be happy in love.
Mm.
It's not love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I've learned from both of you, even whether romantic or just love, period, that love is an action. And what I mean by that is just because you say you love someone, your actions need to match along with that. So a lot of times we can get caught up in situations, and I mean, romantic, friendships, I mean, just anything. And people can say with their words one thing, but back to what my grandma was saying, like maybe you're looking for it, but if it's not matching what you really deserve because you love yourself first, then it's not what you're supposed to, connect to. But I think sometimes we can get caught up in what people say to us, but yet what they do to us is not the same thing. So I think that is something definitely I've learned as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Lessons about loss.
Loss means it's gone. Loss means it's over. That's in life. That's in friendship and in affair. If you can't recover it or bring it back, which most times you can't, a loss is a loss. And you have to learn how to deal with loss. Loss is a finalization. Loss is over.
Yeah, I agree. So, with me, loss, I guess I look at death different than most people. Most people are just afraid of people to die, or for whatever reason they do die. They can't deal with the loss. But with me, I just know that it's just a process. Life, death is a process. Life, loss is, So we all gonna go through it. Unfortunately, we're all gonna go through this process of losing or loss of life, and it's just a part of life. Loss is a part of life, and we just have to, you know, just be grateful. Yeah, be grateful for the time that you had with the person, before the loss, and you gotta let them go, because if you don't, you'll be lost. You know what I mean? You'll just won't be able to recover and get back on your feet, and think forward thinking, and you're always thinking back on what happened, and instead of just being grateful for the time that you had with the person that you lost. Yeah, even in friendships that you lose, well, I ain't mad at you. It was fun while it lasted. For whatever reason, our journey is over. And you just move on. Yeah, you have to
let go and let God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I've learned with that, to just add on, is that there's lessons to learn in loss as well, and I think that so if we go on like the friendship side, or maybe you lost a job, or you lost a relationship, or lost a loved one, there's lessons that you learned during that time you had with that job, or with that person, or in that relationship. And so many times, I think loss it's a quote I love. It says it says win or learn, so not losing. But I also think that even in just this context, you just, it's more like learn, not lose, right? Like not lost, right? So in a loss, you learn, okay, if it's a friendship, then what about it did I enjoy and what did I didn't? And then I'm going to make better decisions moving forward. If it's a loved one that's lost, like I think about people that's close to me who passed away, like what about them did I learn, and how did I become different because of them? And if I continue to live in that, I don't lose them, right? I lose maybe the normalcy of what we had, but I just think about, friends and people who I've had over the years past. When I think about lessons I learned from them, it's changed me. So it's like they are still living, but they have gone. You know what I mean? So I agree. Letting go, because if you don't let go, you get stuck at that place.
And sometimes it's just your journey. For example, when you lost your job at one school, and it just you thought it was the end of the world, and you're devastated, but it just pushed you onto your next journey, which was better. You understand?
It was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Sometimes a loss can be the best thing that ever happened to you. Because you might not have made that step.
Or you wouldn't have let go, right? You wouldn't have made the decision to leave, right?
So all losses are not bad losses. You think about it that way.
That's true. Lessons about money.
Oh,
it's good to have.
It sure is good to have money.
Yeah, but I learned about money too. I'm just glad that someone, when I started working at the post office, the old timers, they used to pull you over to the side and try to school you on what you should be doing. We young, coming in the post office at 20, making all this money. We don't know nothing about no money. So you have your elders that'll pull you over to the side. This young lady that I worked with, older lady that I worked with, she would say, so you need to open up you an account at Edward Jones. Retirement? I'm 20 years old. I ain't think about no retirement. But yeah, I listened to her. She kept on me, and then I did it. And now I see what she Money grows, and I learned about stocks and bonds and investing and all of those things. Yeah, money.
They wrote a song about it.
You need to know about.
How the song go?
Oh my, I go.
No, I'm just gonna say money. Money won't change you. Money won't change you.
Yeah.
No, because you are who you are. It's good to have. Good to know what to do with it.
Can't take it with you.
But you can't take it with you.
You ain't seen nobody with a hearse behind a Brinks truck behind a hearse. You never seen a Brinks truck behind a hearse. It ain't gonna happen.
That's right.
So, you do good with when you have it, and I hope to, pass
Always
it on, pass it on and leave legacy and teach your kids and your grandkids and great grandkids the importance of money and the importance of saving their money and investing their money young, so that they'll have something to lean on when they get, ready to make those major purchases. Homes and things of that nature. You don't have to look for nobody to, you don't have to depend on nobody but yourself. It's always good to just
use it to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
Because you can't make anyone else happy if you're not happy.
And then spend your money on you.
If you have your money, spend your money on you first.
Mm-hmm. Someone wrote, based on what you're saying, it's better to have money, to respect and appreciate it and use it wisely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And if you're watching, if you are just not tuning in, because I've seen people kind of going in and out, these are the women in my life. This is my grandma and my mother. And tonight is all about legacy and just being able to highlight just some of the lessons they've taught me and some of the things and advice that they've shared. And, I'm taking more of a listening seat along with you all, but just wanted to also just allow you all to hear just wisdom from women who have lived life and are living life. And we could just take with us. So right now we're talking about the love of money. We'll go to our next one. And I'm going to go to this question. With the love of money, before I move to the next thing, I want to talk about the lesson I've learned. So I definitely have learned lessons when it comes with money. I'm still learning lessons when it comes to money. And not because I was not taught lessons about money, but in many ways, I tend to be the child, and I think both my grandma and mom will prove this. I was a kid. You really didn't have to do much. I didn't like getting in trouble. I didn't like starting mess. So usually I could see someone else and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. So I used to look at maybe my older cousins or maybe friends that I saw at school that got in trouble, or, anyone else. I'm like, okay, if I do that, I'm not doing that. Even though I can actually count on my hand the number of whoopings I got in my life. So my mom used to say, if you could count on that, means that you really wasn't that bad. But
and you didn't talk.
And I didn't talk much. So even now, the Jurema you see now, I definitely can be more vocal and things like that. But I tend to be always more in the background, unless I speak once I feel like it's something important to talk about. But money was something that in college and things like that, it really took me getting into my late 20s, early 30s to see that it isn't about the amount of money, but I think the freedom and stress that is left, it leaves you when you have money. So what I mean by that is that it's not fun stressing out about how you're going to pay bills or how you're going to, do X, Y, and Z. And not because you have like utilities. Like I had like 4, 5 credit cards and things like that, like unnecessary debt, So I think you start realizing that really comes from a place of lack of discipline, And so if you don't really have discipline, it don't care if it's money, it's going to flow into all different areas of your life. So that's where I've learned about money, that it kind of what my grandma said, money don't change you. Whatever you are with or without money, right? So if you a greedy person with money, you just greedy. It's not money that made you greedy. You greedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the one thing I want us to kind of end with as we're getting I think this Auntie Donna. Yes, it is. Because I can tell. She said, also women in my life, my mom, my sister, and niece, incredible, smart, beautiful. I learned from them all. Yo, Auntie Donna, Vegas watching. Hey, Auntie Donna. So the comment I want to talk about kind of the end, because I want to end with advice. I always end with takeaways. Loving the skin you are in. So I want you to think about, and I want to end with this because I think when we think about our different generations, I could just talk about even growing up, what it took me to truly just love all of me, you know what I mean? And the way I look and what people think and da da da. And I would just love to hear like what are lessons about what has helped you to love everything about you inside and out. Maybe you can share if there was a time where you didn't, if there was a time that you never felt that way, maybe because of the way you was raised, like anything that, what helped you to get to the point. Because I would say you both are women who truly love the skin you're in. But I don't know if every woman just gets to that point without some bumps in the road,
Well, it was some bumps in the road, of course. Because when I was coming up, when I was younger, light skin was in, dark skin was not in. Okay, and I was always dark, so until James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, black skin, was out. But yeah, that song kind of turned a lot of us around. That turned me around back there because I was teased a lot about being dark skinned when I was in grade school. Yep, even my brothers and sisters used to call me Black Sam.
Ooh, Auntie Donna, you on here? Ooh.
Yes, they did, because I was the dark. Okay, I still love them, But I just grew. I don't know. I think being smart, I'm not saying smart, but just being good in school and getting good grades and having that confidence and knowing, it kind of made you, put my chest up and say, you know what, I might be all right in this skin. The skin color might be all right. The skin I'm in. I don't need to be nobody else's skin. But yeah, I think when you have like a good upbringing and you get good schooling and you get your confidence up and you start making achievements and achieving things, yeah, it helps you to just be proud of who you are. And then now I'm just don't even care. Don't have no hair, cut it off. I'm just who I am. Take me as I am. Yeah.
What about you, Grandma?
Well, I've been so many places, done so many things, but none as amazing as this. God blessed me with 87 years, took away all my fears, filled my life with laughter and bliss. Pass it on, use your gift. Who knows, someone might get a lift. It's a wow, amusing story. Who knows, it might bring you glory. It works for me, and I'm sure it'll work for you. God said it, and I believe. As you give, you shall receive. Let go, be more forgiven. 'Cause the secret to living is given.
Mm.
Yeah, amen.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. So, as we are coming to the end, this has been wonderful. What would be one takeaway you would want if you could so we almost there. So this is the second to last thing, because I always do a little thing at the end. What is one thing that you would want to tell? Maybe you could look at it two ways. Someone who is younger, right?
Mhm.
So maybe in their 20s, still developing, getting into their who they are as a woman. Or if that may be too difficult, what's one thing you would love to go back and tell your younger self?
Mm.
So I'll go first so y'all can think. Because I think about this often. One thing that I will want to tell my younger self, and I'm grateful that God gives me the chance to talk and work with teenage girls, because a lot of times, try to have conversations with them that I wish more of my teachers had with me growing up, is that you are enough. Because I think a lot of times we are always comparing ourselves to others, and that is where we start feeling like we are the short end of the stick. I remember just kind of growing up, if you don't understand you are enough, you always can see what you don't have or what you lack, right? And when you realize you are enough, back to what we've been talking about, I think, the whole night, you just make decisions that are best for you, and so I think it's important that the sooner you realize that you are enough, you start realizing that what's for you is for you, and what's not for you is not going to work. And that you just really start embracing what makes you different, not so much in a bad way, but what makes you unique, and how you can only bring that one thing. So, a lot of times I see girls, they're trying to have the same hair as everybody, the same personality, same thing. It's like, no, be you. And when you embrace you, then you're really going to enjoy life more. So that would be my thing. You are enough.
Okay. All right.
You crying, Ma?
No, I'm just sweating.
I about to say, because, Mama emotional. She be crying. But.
There comes a time in your life when you can be hot when it's not hot.
It actually is a little crazy.
Yeah, don't worry, your day is coming. But
oh, Lord.
They used to laugh at me, Jurema, when I would be
having your personal summers
with a matchbook. I'm like, what you doing?
And now, Grandma, what? They got fans in their purse. They got fans in their purse now.
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I would just say to just be careful, and when you're in relationships and building relationships along the way of your life, treat everybody nice. Treat everybody nice that you run into and come into, because you never know when that person is going to come back around into your life and maybe can help you and pull you up, or they a CEO of a company, and and you bullied her when you was in high school, and next thing you know, you interviewing for a job where she's the CEO. Just be nice to people. You never know who you're going to run into later in life that can help you, or you can help them. And just know that what goes around in life comes back, so put it out there, coming back. Put it out there good, it's gonna come back good, so yeah. Definitely keep your relationships on the even till, always be able to walk back across the bridge. That's all. You never know. Yeah. It's happened several times in my life. Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated. Just that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in closing, it's Women's History Month. I've asked every woman that I've interviewed this month, I need you to shout out a queen. So I want you to think of a woman, present or past, who has been influential to you, who really made an impact on you. Like you all tonight have definitely shared some nuggets that I believe the people watch the replay or are currently watching it. I will definitely, I would love for you all to shout someone else. Before you all shout them out, I just want to share what I see. Auntie Donna just posted. She said, one of the lessons I learned from my mother is that happiness is a choice. So choose happiness.
Yes,
absolutely happy. That's my sister.
We got all our generations on here, y'all. Next time, Auntie Donna, I'm gonna send you the link. You need to get on here too. All right. So, shout out a queen. Who do you want to shout out?
I have to shout out my grandmother, Mrs. Mary Estella Calvin. Okay? Because without her would be no her, would be no me, would be you. And the lessons I learned from her is don't borrow no money you can't pay back. Okay, and if you be a good paymaster, you'll be able to borrow again. Okay. You know, okay, if it's $1, pay it back. But yeah, my grandmother was an awesome cook. Oh my goodness, she made the best dressing. The way I learned. Well, I learned it between her and her, you know. If you don't have fresh parsley in your dressing, you ain't making no dressing.
Let them know. Let them know.
I'm just saying. So some things you just have to know from your granny. Yeah, I miss that woman.
Yes. Well, you took my queen.
Oh. Sorry.
You can still share about Graham.
Calvin was a queen.
Ooh, wait, elegant.
She wore hats and gloves. She was a special lady. She cooked, she dressed, she belonged to clubs, organizations, she charitable organizations. Yes. She was a giver.
Yes.
She was a giver. And I grew up as her daughter, and I admired her. I learned a few things from her. At dressing.
I know.
Got to have fresh parsley in your dressing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Miss Carrie Calvin, boy, I tell you, the memories we have from her.
Right. And you know that God is your heavenly Father. She was a great teacher. She set great examples. And I hope I learned from her, and I hope I passed some of it down to
you did.
To this younger generation.
Boy, and she had the patience, Jurema. When I tell you, she taught me how to play every card game there is.
Yes.
And me and her sit up all night and play cards.
Yeah.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't ready to quit. She wouldn't quit. You want to play another game? Hand the coon cane. I'm like, yes. We all night. She's the only person that sit up and let me play cards with me. When I tell you, we up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning at the card table in the middle of the dining room. Everybody else sleep. We still playing cards. Yeah, she had the patience of Job.
As soon as you was able, you sat at the card table.
That's right.
I played whist,
every card game there was out. She taught me. Yes.
And it's a great lesson. Teach your children how to play cards. Yeah, they learn how to count. They learn how to make decisions.
Yep, critical thinking. Yep.
They learn how to think.
And learn how to lose.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, because that's important.
You don't always win.
You don't always win. You learn
but it's
how
the
to
game that counts.
Because she never just let me win. She beat me like I stole something. And then I learned how to lose.
Well, I would love to shout out, and because it's my show, I can do what I want. I'm going to shout out two queens, which are the two that are on the screen right now. And so, again, the reason for this is not only for us to, learn lessons, but also for us to be able to, I believe, give people their flowers when they are here and at all times. And so, I'm actually going to start with my mother and end with my grandmother. So, the one thing I would want to share about my mother is even hearing about Graham is that I truly believe all the different lessons about motherhood and family and just community and building, parties and all of those things, I think are truly things that are passed down. And I'm excited to know that I had the chance to be able to be under my mother's wing and just be able to experience all that. I believe I could speak for me and my brother. My mom I have never experienced lack. And I mean that, like, I never knew
right?
anything was not right. Anything was, I appreciate you all to the point, and I do the same thing with Trey. My mom was very, very protective in a good way. And what she, like when my grandma talks about be careful what you say and how you treat, like my mom would not allow us to have anyone in the house cursing. Like no one could be in our house cursing. No one could be in there arguing. Even her and my dad, I've never seen them like argue and fight. Like that just wasn't what was in our household. It was about, every birthday was a celebration. We always had home cooked meals. They similarly, we would watch movies and staying up with us. And I'm just so grateful because I believe that all those things have allowed me when even when I talk to my friends and different people, even they'll say like, man, you were so blessed. Like that's not what everyone experienced growing up, and it wasn't like we were living in like this really rich neighborhood. We in the heart of Auburn Gresham. And, when my parents, divorced, like it still was just a very, like I always felt as if my mom and my dad really prioritized allowing us to have a healthy upbringing. And I appreciate that because I think that, along life, we have our own issues that we got to work through. But I honestly can say none of it stems from my childhood. Like, I don't feel like my childhood, I didn't know if my mom loved me. I didn't know if my dad loved me. Those were not things that I experienced. And even now, it's been beautiful seeing my mom be a grandma, right? And for many of y'all love y'all some Trey, but if it wasn't for this, my mama, he wouldn't be here. Because I might not have been here either. Because when I tell y'all when I first had Trey, I would just be sitting there holding him, crying. I didn't know what to do. I would have postpartum depression. It was a lot going on. I'm like, and I literally would call her like, come get us. Not him. Don't take him. Take both of us to your house. And I was so grateful because literally, like she just said, Graham said, my mama would be up with Trey. He would not go to sleep. They'd be up singing. She would let me just go in the back room and go fall asleep. And everyone doesn't have that either. Just being able to rely on my mother to the point that sometimes I'll be thinking he loved her more than me. I know Trey loved me, but he definitely, if he had to choose, he lets me know he on Nana team, so. But I think it's because from birth, like she really, poured in the way that I know my grandma poured into her and like the way my grandma poured into us, being my grandma. So it'll be times I will pick going to grandma's house too, So I think it's just important that we have that. And so even to this day, my mom is like my biggest cheerleader. And y'all know that, my best friend. We talk every day. So I'm just grateful to have you as a mother.
Thank you so much.
Then to my grandmother, first of all, I'm so blessed, you all, that my mom and my grandma literally are less than 2 minutes away from me. So when I end this live, I could just walk to their house. But I'm grateful because my grandma is truly the epitome. Like she talked about the way you just described Graham. That's how I would describe you, Grandma. Like you are so graceful and loving and creative. And you just really is like the mother of our mother. I think all of us as grandkids like adore you. I mean, just your kids, even my uncle who messed up my lab, like all your kids love you. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone, because you just pour that out and you embody it. And I just know that you're just really like the matriarch for us. You know what I'm saying? Like you hold us together. And so when you came back to Chicago, it was really all heck, like you've done so much for us. Like, how dare we make you do anything? You know what I mean? And so I just want you to know that all your sacrifice and love. And I mean, when I tell you all, my grandma took me to Bud Billiken parades and festivals. And I mean, wherever she's like, we go, I'm at church with her, you know, going to Christ Universal Temple. I mean, because all those things matter, not just the arts, not just family, not just church, like everything. And I'm just so grateful because, you know, if you look towards your older, you know, people in your family, I feel like I'm gonna have a good turnout. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only 30. I think I'm gonna be pretty bomb as an older woman. You know, I think I'll be a great grandmother and all those things because I've had just really great examples of it. So that is what I wanted to share.
Oh, thank you.
I love you both.
Love you, Moa.
And I'm gonna share on the note as we end out what Auntie Donna just shared, because she shared about Graham, who again is the queen to us all. I remember my great grandma. What she always would do, and I'll never forget. Every time we came to her house, she would do like the air bubble kiss.
Yeah.
And then when you kiss her on one cheek, she'll make it go to the other cheek. So you end up just like kissing her all over on her face. I remember that. I used to love going to girl house. I'd be like, she about to do it. So we'll give her a kiss and she'll make it go on the other side. And we like, girl, why you keep doing that? So yes, but Auntie Donna said, my grandma taught me to be a strong lady and lady. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
I got you. She's talking about grandma and she's talking about auntie. She said, my grandma taught me how to be strong, and Lady Auntie taught me about hospitality. My mom taught me to be fearless, to play, and to love. Yes. So she's definitely giving honor to Graham, to Auntie Dewey, and also to you, Grandma. So thank you. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this. My grandma asked me in the beginning, how long this talk with me? I said, oh, just about 20 minutes, you know, whatever, we just go talk. And we are an hour and 2 minutes later, but it's okay. You know, we ain't got nothing to do. They retired. They ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got nothing to do either. So this is great. I hope you all enjoyed, that you get some nuggets, you get a little piece of me, more beyond just verses of books and teaching and all that. Like, you get to see the amazing lineage that I come from, and you can just see how I'm able to take a lot of these things in. So I just wanted to say thank you for both coming on. You didn't know what to expect, but you did it. And next time, Grandma, we gonna make sure your Wi-Fi is ready, and you're gonna do some jokes for me, okay?
Yes, I got them ready.
She got them ready, Jurema. Don't get us.
You got it ready. Can you tell us one? Take us out with one, Grandma. We're gonna end with one joke.
Got one joke on the brain right now.
On the brain. Oh, I'll tell you about the lady who learned that her 85-year-old neighbor had a baby, and she said, I got to go over here and see this baby. So she went over there. She knocked on the door. She said, I came to see the baby. Come on in. She invited her in and sat down and gave her a cup of coffee and some donuts. And she drank the coffee and she was eating the donuts and she kept refilling the cup. She said, my, I've been here over an hour. Don't you want me to see the baby? She said, I didn't want to keep you so long like this, but I just thought the baby might wake up and start crying so I can remember where I left it.
Oh, baby.
She
She done lost the baby.
She done lost the baby, Lord.
I remember where I put it.
Oh my gosh, you all. Yes.
On that note.
On that note, take care of your babies. Okay. Take care of your babies. My baby just came in here asking about dinner. Take care of your babies. Find your babies.
Have them before you see now.
Have them before you see now. That is so funny. Well, I love you both. Right. And we are done. Thank you all. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.